Hello there everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Picot wire weave, and this is what mine looks like. So it can end up looking like this. So you have pretty much the middle wire out of the three, the base wires there, is constantly wrapped, and then occasionally we wrap around all of them together. So you have these little picots running all the way around, and it gives a really nice final effect and a nice impact there. And the back side looks like that, so very similar but not quite the same. So if you want to learn how to make this weave, then keep watching. So for this weave we'll need some lengths of our wire, and here I have 3 lengths of my base wire. That's a 1mm thickness. I'm going to be demonstrating with these 3 for this weave, but you can add in more base wires if you want to. It's completely up to the look that you want. And then also we need a length of our weaving wire here, so this is my 0.4mm wire. So now what we need to do is get started with the weave. So I start out with grabbing 1 length of my base wires here, and then I want to get my weaving wire as well. We want to start attaching this weaving wire first of all. So I'm going to place my weaving wire underneath the base wire, leave a bit of a tail to hold on to, and then we need to start coiling this weaving wire around this base wire, the single base wire. So that means we just wrap this around on its own. So we're basically making coils here. How many you want to do is completely up to you. It all depends on the look that you want, and also whether you want to keep them even throughout or not. And then if you look at your coils here, if they're not that tight, so you got spacing in between, what you can do is take your nails and then squish them together, or you can take a pair of pliers and do that. So once we have the amount of coils here that we're happy with, then what I'm going to do is my weaving wire is going to come down from the top there, but then down behind the back of this base wire. So that's the positioning now. So now I'm going to add in some more of my base wires here. So I'll grab a new one, I place that above the one that we've wrapped around, and then already as well I'm going to grab the last one, in my case the third one, and place that below the one we wrapped around. So basically the one with the coils and the wraps on currently is in the middle of the 2 other ones. So that's how it's going to look now. And here to begin with, it's going to be a little bit fiddly because obviously we still have loose wires. But once we get the weave going, it's going to be a lot easier. So what we need to do to continue this weave, my weaving wire is coming down behind on my wires there at the back, and down towards the bottom of my very bottom base wire there. I'm going to go all the way down below that and up over all of them, across the front of all of them there, down towards the back again. So basically coming down just like it was before. The only difference is now we're wrapped around all of our base wires together. So what you can do as well is decide here how many times you want to do each kind of wrap. So how many times you want to do your wrap around the middle one, and also how many wraps you want to do around all of them together. You can do a single one like that. You can go around another time, so it becomes a double wrap around all of the wires. It really all depends on the look that you want. So I'm going to leave it at 2 wraps there around all the wires together, and then what I'm going to do, we need to come back up so we're able to wrap around the middle wire again, just like we did at the beginning. So that means we need to come up between the bottom 2 in this case, so below basically the wire that we need to wrap around. So I'll come up there and then push it in, and then we need to wrap around that middle one on its own. So you can just splay out your wires at the end of it. It's going to make it easier. So come down between the top 2 in my case. So basically we're just wrapping around that middle one on its own. So we're doing just like we did at the beginning. The only difference is we now have a wire on each side of that middle wire as well. So this is then where again you want to decide how many wraps you want to do in between each wrap that goes around all your wires. So it's up to you if you want to keep it uniform and symmetrical throughout. So say do the same amount of wraps in between each wrap that we're doing around all of them, or whether you want to make it different. That's completely up to you. What you can do is count the amount of wraps that you're doing, either while you're doing them or when you think you've done your wraps, making sure obviously you don't do too many. Then you can go in and count them afterwards. So count how many you want to do, see if you got the right amount, and then again when you want to then get ready to make the wraps around all of the wires together, make sure your weaving wire is coming out behind and then downwards towards the bottom of all the base wires there. Then we need to wrap around all of them the same way as before. Go around the bottom, over the top of all of them, around the back again, around the bottom of all of them, and then around over the top of them all there again. And again, this is just because I'm doing the 2 wraps when I'm doing around all the wires. You might do differently on yours. So now we're coming behind all the wires again after doing the 2 wraps around all the wires. So that means we need to come up again, in my case between the bottom 2. So basically just below the one that we want to wrap around, in my case the middle one. Come up there and then again down. So basically go up 1 wire and then go down between the next 2 up. So go down between the top 2 to just wrap around that middle wire again. And that is basically all there is to the weave. So you keep coiling around the middle one. And like I said, if you want to make it even, you want to count the amount of wraps you do the same that you did between the last ones, and then you just keep building your weave like that. So now I kept weaving here so it's a bit longer piece to see, and you can see how the weave now is going to look when you keep going. So it gives a really nice effect with this kind of constant weaving pretty much in the middle one, but then every now and then we wrap around all of them. So that's what it could end up looking like. Now what you'll find is both sides aren't 100% the same. It kind of looks like it from afar, but if you look close, you'll see on the front side here, what I call the front, we just have those 2 wraps around all the wires going next to each other. On the back, you'll have a similar thing, but the wires aren't running right next to each other, because obviously it's on the back where we end up having to go up through to the middle wire again. So that makes it look a little bit different, but still both sides are equally nice. So it's all up to you which side that you want to use. So that's how you make this weave. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful as well. And thank you very much for watching. Hello there everyone. Today I want to show you how to make this tulip wire weave. And this is what it can look like. So this is the weave. So you have your base wire there on the bottom wrapped all the way, but then you have these little tulips springing up from the ground, kind of. Is the effect that I think it looks like. So if you want to learn how to make this weave, then keep watching. So the wires that I'm going to use to demonstrate with is 4 lengths of my 1mm wire here. These are going to be the base wires.